Welcome to the Athletic and Wellness Center at Centennial College for OCAA men's basketball. I'm Matias Bueno, joined alongside by Luis Ramirez. And for those of you just joining us for the first time tonight, we welcome you to this game between the George Brown Huskies and the Centennial Colts. Both teams sitting at 1-2, looking to get back to 500. The Colts coming through with a big win against the Durham Lords here at home the other day, Luis. And George Brown trying to find a way back to 500. A closely contested one is what we're in store for again, Luis. What are your thoughts on these two teams going into today's game?
Hello, Matthias, and welcome everyone who's joining us on the stream right now on OCAA Live. Yeah, as you were mentioning, Centennial seems to be, hopefully will show a much better performance than they did against Seneca. Not that their performance were bad, they got their first win of the season, yes. But it was a very frictional game, and during a lot of moments in that game, Centennial was down. So hopefully tonight they are going to be able to take the lead from the beginning and not struggle as they did in their previous matches. From the George Brown side, as you were saying, I mean, they're trying to go back to the 500. I think they're here just to try to give them their all and try to gain some more. Trying to get some more from here from the AWC. Just trying to get some confidence back on their game.
Both teams started with 2 losses in a row and have now won 1. And we're set to tip off here. And tip won by the Huskies as they're in the all royal blue and the Colts in the all white. And quick pace to start the game. Up for the layup. And shot no good. Offensive rebound goes to George Brown. Tipped back out and stolen away by the Colts. Driving to the lane. Shot no. Tapped up by Kevon Armstrong. Shot doesn't go. And the Huskies controlling the pace of the game now. To Shane Gale up top for George Brown with Kevon Armstrong on him. Sets a screen, pulls a long 3, shot in and out, and rebound goes to Jalon Steeth. Fumbles it, loses it away, and Quentin Herbert comes away with the ball for the Colts. And Moses Orange now calling for a screen. One-on-one with Jalon Steeth. Kicks, Armstrong, nice. That 3 is good. Kevon Armstrong starting things from way out, putting the first points on the board from downtown. And the leader in points per game for the Colts with a strong start to this one. Swung inside for Ocampo and stolen away, but floating jumper is good by Shane Gale. And great balance, just hanging in the air with a few defenders in the way. And a slow and steady pace up the court now by Moses Orange. Makai Richards driving baseline, looking for help inside, goes back out to Armstrong for 3. It's good! Kevon Armstrong with another great shot from outside. And Armstrong is definitely making do with everything that he can from long range today.
It's great to see him perform at this level. Last night on Wednesday against Seneca, he was also being one of the key pieces of this team.
Quick drive and another layup by Kevon Armstrong. And Armstrong with all 8 points for the Colts so far. Stutter step, baseline, fading jumper, no good. Tapped up by Bongwa and rebound put back up and in by Caliango. And the Huskies only down 4, Orange on the wing.
It's important that Centennial is able to get as much points as possible right now. As we were talking during the women's game as well, fatigue is going to be an important factor throughout this season, and Centennial has got a very limited squad in terms of number of players, so not a lot of depth in the bench, contrary to George Brown, the rivals tonight, who have basically a full bench right now. So it's going to be important to have a lot of points during the first half of this game in order to compensate a little bit of fatigue that can come in the final part.
And Tavel Peters passes in to Darnell Richards. And now Caliango swings, 3-ball, no good. Bongwa beaten for the rebound, but it comes away to Makai Richards. Ridges across the timeline. Trying to go behind the back, and Kevon Armstrong gets the loose ball. Up top, layup, just in and out, and rebounded by Darnell Richards again. Pushing the pace to the hole. And called for traveling is Tavel Peters. So a turnover by the Huskies. And the Colts stifle the transition offense by George Brown. Richards hands off to Herbert, looking for the screen from Bongwa. Draws 2 defenders, had an open man, but is in ISO now. Working on Ocampo, fading baseline jumper. Takes a few bounces, but doesn't fall. Rebound goes to the Huskies, and they break out in transition. Quick swing pass on the wing. Back to Peters, and a long 3 from Ocampo. And Richards able to secure the board. Quickly up to Herbert. Thinking about it, but instead looking to set something up. Orange driving in the lane. Swatted. And a nice defensive play there by Caliango, all alone. Great pass up front to Tavel Peters. And the Huskies trying to do everything they can to work the transition offense in their favor. Armstrong with Rivera on him, pulls a 3, in and out. And quickly up and now is Robert Ocampo. Working on Herbert. Swings back. Now Ocampo again. Kicks for an open 3, and it's good. Nice shot from Richards. And the Huskies with their first lead of the game. Moses Orange. Drawing 2 defenders. Stolen away by the Huskies. And sending a man quickly in transition, but instead going all the way to the hole, and it's blocked. And the Colts break in transition, 2-on-1, up, Orange, good.
That was a great transition from the Colts, grabbing the lead once again. You know, it's been good that this basket came right now, because in the previous attack of the Colts, you could see that some of the players didn't have enough mobility, so this will boost their confidence up.
And baseline jumper is off the mark, tipped up. 3-ball, that one's good from Tavel Peters. And the Huskies going punch for punch here with the Colts midway through the first. Orange with Peters working on him. Richards, long 3, shot no. And rebound goes to Patrick Rivera. Fumbled for a second and collected. Back to Rivera. Peters coming off the screen from Ocampo. Quick trigger 3 is good. Tavel Peters making it count. And the Huskies now with a 5-point lead. Herbert comes off the screen. Wanted a chance. And he's called for traveling. So what should have been a 3-pointer in the face of 2 defenders instead is a turnover. And Coach Trevor Challenger calls for time here as the Huskies lead with 3 minutes left in the first. 15-10, you're watching OCAA men's basketball on OCAA Live. Back in 30. So welcome back to the AWC. And the Colts find themselves down 5 with 3 minutes left here in the first quarter. Huskies taking advantage of the transition offense as well as making sure to take open looks they get from the outside. 3 of 8 so far. Colts 2 of 4 from downtown. And Rivera bringing it up for the Huskies as Tavel Peters steps in another 3, and it's good. Tavel Peters making it count from outside. Great start by the Huskies. Fourth-year man out of Grace Baptist Academy here in North York has been putting on a show here for his team. Back inside, offensive glass, controlled by the Colts for a little while. And Richards says, not in my house. Great block there by the Huskies. And substitution back into the game for George Brown. And it's Ocampo. Quentin Herbert coming off the Hannon screen. Armstrong draws a double. Hannon looked for a quick pass, just tipped out by Ocampo. 4 to shoot. And Jacob Masters checking into the game, leading the Huskies in points per game at 19 so far this year. First year out of Central Technical. Armstrong, open look for 3. Shot no. And a foul called there against Armstrong. And just tripped up. His defender. Rivera running the offense for George Brown. Over to Peters. Peters gets a few screens. 3 ball. Correction. 2 ball. Foot just on the line there by Darnell Richards. No matter. A hand in his face from Hannon and a great shot. Cutting the other way. Nice look. Layup. Just in and out. Rebound. Bounces around and Colts now have it. Picked off. And just an inch out of bounds.
Ow.
And hopefully he's okay. To Shane Gale with an amazing hustle play there to keep the ball in possession of the Colts, but, pardon me, in the possession of the Huskies away from the Colts.
Coach Challenger is not happy with what he's seen so far. You can see he's constantly giving indications to the rest of the team, and he's not happy. Nice
putback there off the missed 3 from Herbert. And a strong take by Aogo, cutting back into this lead that the Huskies have built themselves. Now single digits again. Driving inside. Layup no good. Misses the putback dunk. But the Huskies keep possession for now. Peters kicks in the corner. And a pump fake. Driving inside on 3 guys. Hoop and the harm. Count it. Nice strong move from the Huskies. And it was to Shane Gale who got the bucket to go. So the Huskies dominating the offensive glass here early on in this one. Up 10. Pardon me, that was Caliango who had that bucket. There was a drove of bodies in the paint there. Caliango, the leader in rebounds. for the Huskies as they are able to get one but not able to make do with the offensive possession. As Herbert steps into a three. This one's good. Quinton Herbert, one of the strongest offensive performers for the Colts so far this season, drains a three and the lead is now 7 for the Huskies. As Gale, not wasting time, getting up in transition and blocked! Oh my goodness! What a swat there from Carlos Iogo. He was levitating there, it seemed, in the air for a few seconds, and sent the ball flying into the top row of the stands here at the AWC. Pass inside. Now Caliango. Over to Gale, driving on Orange. Quick move, fading jumper. It's good, and the foul to Shane Gale. This time he's the one on the end of the three-point play. Two guys on him, fading from the elbow. Just a fantastic move, Luis.
Yeah, and you can see all of his experience to Shane Gale there in his 5th year with George Brown. The Centennial Colts must find a way to stop him because he's been insane so far.
The 5th-year man out of West Humber and originally from La Belle Province. And another steal here, but the Colts wrestling away with this one. And another foul against the Colts. That puts them into the penalty. Huskies have no fouls called on them so far in this one. All the way of Centennial. And Gale heading back to the line for another pair. A little bit smaller in stature, absolutely fierce in terms of his physicality, very quick. And as you mentioned, Luis, 5th year, so the most senior veteran on this George Brown Husky squad. Misses on the second, a short free throw. And Orange on the double team, trying to break press. And now the first foul called against the Huskies here late in the first quarter.
I think the best thing for the team, for Centennial Colts so far right now, it's going to be when the first quarter is over. Able to get some time between Coach Challenger and the players to talk about how to improve for the remainder of the game, really.
Huskies have an 11-point lead so far, shooting 48% from the field and 44% of that from outside the arc. So great offensive performance by George Brown so far. And with one possession left in the half here, in the quarter, Colts are going to want to make this one count. Herbert draws the screen, 2 men on him. Wants an open look, can't get one. Back to Yusoff on the triple team. Hannon loses a handle. And a poor offensive possession there by the Colts. Definitely not one that Trevor Hannon is part of that Trevor Challenger, coach of the Colts, is going to be pleased with. So at 2.4, the Huskies are going to try to make this one count despite it not being that much time. And a long Hail Mary pass is batted up. And the shot is not going to be able to get off in time. As that brings us to the end of the first quarter. Huskies up 26-15. You're watching OCAA men's basketball on OCAA Live. Back in a minute. And welcome back to Colts Huskies here on OCAA Live at the AWC on Centennial College campus. As the Huskies have built themselves an 11-point lead after the end of the first quarter, shooting nearly 50% compared to the 35 that the Colts have been shooting. Definitely been a stronger offensive performance from the Huskies so far. One of the biggest differences after that first quarter. George Brown disciplined, 1 foul. Colts 5, led to the bonus and allowed for the Huskies to pat that
Yeah, that's right, Matthias. It hasn't been a great first quarter from the Colts. Personally, I was expecting more following the game against the Durham Lords on Wednesday night, where they clearly show an improvement in comparison to their first games against Georgia and Seneca respectively. But right now, issues like miscommunication have come back to the team, and hopefully it will change in this second quarter.
Moses Orange in control for the Colts. Fading jumper from the baseline is good. Great shot by Moses Orange. And chipping slowly away at this lead as the Huskies cross the timeline here to Shane Gale with Yusuf on him. Great handles on the man. As well as Savell Peters, also another great ball handler for George Brown. Nice pass inside. Easy layup and the foul. Gets a contact on the head. So Josh Lindo Croft gets the hoop and the harm. And with the great set of colorful socks and shoes to boot.
The interesting combination of colors there, for sure.
And Lindo Croft completes the three-point play. And now the lead is up to 12. Yusuf draws the double. Open look, Aogo. Shot no, Richards with the rebound. Gale has an open look, takes it himself, and 3 is no good. But the offensive rebound is tipped out by the Colts, so the Huskies will keep possession. As a substitution comes into the game, as Aogo checks out for Makai Richards. And here's another Richards with another 3. And Darnell Richards dialing it up from downtown once again. Huskies lead is 15 here. Only just a minute shy into this second quarter.
Yeah, they're almost doubling the amount of points that Centennial have scored.
Richards fighting for it. Hannon trying to keep a loose ball open. Nice clutch grab by Yusuf. Kick. And steps into it. Herbert just a little short. Yusuf able to collect. Herbert drawing a few defenders. Orange, nice defensive movement here by the Huskies. Really able to track their man. Open 3. And the rebound goes to Lindo Croft. Gale pushing the pace. Tripped up for a second, doesn't stop him. 3 ball is good. Jacob Masters, the leading scorer for the Huskies this season, expanding this lead to nearly 20. And another steal again from George Brown. They're relentless on defense. Masters again. Shot no. Rebound tipped around, and Yusuf finally collects it, pushing it up to Quentin Herbert. Gale comes up. Nice fake Euro step. Layup is good by Quentin Herbert. And so the lead is still large for the Huskies. Centennial desperately looking to get a stop to cut the bleeding. Gale takes his time. Over to Peters, comes off a screen. Quick trigger 3. In and out. And refs are going to call foul. And a hold is, indeed called against Darnell Richards. Looks to be shaken up there, favoring that right elbow. And sub coming into the game to check him out. as Quentin Oliver comes into the game, but we have a timeout called on the floor by the Colts. Huskies still lead 35-19 in the second quarter of OCAA men's basketball action. You're watching on OCAA Live, back in 30 to the AWC. And we're back out of the timeout. And the Huskies with a 16-point lead over the Colts. And they're playing very well so far. And one of the things that we talked about a little bit, Luis, before the broadcast here is the veteran leadership on George Brown as compared to the Colts. Colts, one veteran player, which is Quentin Herbert, the third-year man out of Birchmount Park. But you look at this George Brown team, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys that are veterans, and that makes a big difference down the stretch.
Totally, Matthias. And I just want to talk about number 3 here from George Brown, Shane Gale. He's like a second coach, a coach within the court, you know? He's very intelligent at the moment of playing. He knows when to cool down the game, when he needs to be fast, when he needs to be cheeky. And every time after scoring, or even when there's every time the game stops because of a foul or whatever, he's talking with his teammates, constantly explaining to them what they're supposed to be doing.
And a nice pass inside, but the Colts can't get it to go, as the layup attempt from Armstrong did not touch the rim, so a shot clock violation will turn it over to the Huskies. And as you mentioned, Luis, a perfect description of Gale, almost like having a coach in the court, huge in any sport, especially in basketball, with the veteran leadership that he presents and that knowledge and experience, something you can't really trade when looking compared to the side of the Colts with only one veteran in his third year.
Exactly, there he goes again.
Gale, another! When it rains, it pours. He's deadly from the outside to Shane Gale.
He moved the players of George Brown. He was telling them where to move to generate that space for him to be able to be free at the moment of throwing the ball into the basket.
Gale pushing the pace again and tipped away by Bongwa. And it's perfect analysis, Luis. You see there Gale checking out for Tavel Peters, as well as Jaylon Steeth coming into the game as well for the Huskies. You really see the vision that he has, and that leadership presence just makes a huge difference. It's intangible. It's not something you can really quantify with numbers, but when you watch the game, when you see the film, you know he makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and just see what happened there. All the George Brown bench started clapping as soon as he went out of the court, and even some of his teammates stand to show respect. And what does he do? The first thing he does is to keep talking to the coaches to know where to improve. What's the team supposed to be doing?
Another 3 from Tavel Peters. Well, I know the forecast called for heavy precipitation, snow and rain, but here inside the AWC, it's also raining. From George Brown Huskies with a chance of to Shane Gale and Tavel Peters. And a timeout now called by Coach Dawkins. And maybe this one a little bit more of a reset timeout. Not as concerned maybe with the pace of play, as the Huskies lead by 22 here in the second quarter. You're watching OCAA men's basketball, back in 30 on OCAA Live. And back out of the timeout. Coach Dawkins talking it over with his team. Looking to give them a breather after a very quick back and forth pace of play here so far. Midway through the second quarter. His team on top by 22. Open look by Ocampo. Ocampo, oh my. 3 from way out. And this lead is continuing to grow for the Huskies. Now up to 25.
George Brown is on fire tonight. That's the truth. Centennial doesn't know how to handle the strength of his players. Let's hope for the Colts that they're able to resist and perhaps try to get some additional points in the remaining of the game.
And Steve with an easy layup. And this lead is starting to get out of hand. As you mentioned, Luis, the Huskies physically outmatching the Colts as well with their speed. Just the depth and the veteran leadership that the Huskies have makes a huge difference in this game. The Colts, you're right, they have improved in the last few games. They played in a lot of close ones, but this one, they're a bit outmatched. Don't have as many men to run deep on the bench. And you can see the difference here so far.
Yeah, right now from what I can see from the players on court right now, we have for the Colts, Covan Armstrong with 8 points being the top scorer in comparison to Tuval Peters, who has 14 points. So you can see even in those small details, George Brown is better than the Colts at this moment.
And the open 3 is no good. Bongo can't grab the rebound. Ocampo quickly to Rivera. Swing pass. Peters again. And this time doesn't catch anything. Air ball and goes out of bounds. Nice look by the Huskies. As Yusuf checks back into the game for Moses Orange. And the Colts got to get something going here in the remaining minutes of this half to get back into this game. Down 26. Makai Richards hands off to Kevon Armstrong. Coming off a screen, driving baseline, jumper, good. And quickly out again in transition. Huskies wasting no time to get things going offensively. But a turnover as the ball just slips out of the hands of Tavel Peters. So a slew of substitutions come in for the Huskies as Darnell Richards, as well as Deshane Gale. And we also see Quinton Oliver return to the floor, get a breather, and that bench depth is so huge in this game.
So much depth in that George Brown squad. Oh!
And just not
strong impact there. Directly to the face.
And Armstrong just nailed there in an attempt to get the ball. Was to Shane Gale, but Armstrong says he's good to go. And referee making sure that things are in order before resuming play. And Yusuf over to Armstrong. Driving, layup in and out. Rebound secured by the Huskies. Oliver, but it's picked off by Armstrong. Up and under and in and good.
What a great play there by Armstrong.
And you can see Kevon Armstrong just physically exhausted right now.
Yeah, right now, honestly, we've seen George Brown play at another intensity level. Probably one of the few players in the Centennial Colts, or on the Centennial Colts right now, who is able to sort of match them at certain moments. That's Armstrong. So it's clearly that he's gonna be more tired than the rest of his teammates probably at some point.
3 in and out by Richards, and Quentin Herbert grabs the rebound. Herbert driving all alone. Layup is good. Nice move by the third-year man from Scarborough. And the lead now is 20. Colts have a mountain to climb, but it's going to take one step at a time in order to get back into this game. Gale thought about it, picked off by Armstrong. able to just tiptoe the sideline. Nice pass behind the back, and Herbert's going to have to take that one out as the open look wasn't there anymore. Working on Ocampo, but makes a call that, pardon me, Ocampo makes the claim that he got the ball cleanly, but referee blows the whistle for a foul instead. So 2:48 to go. George Brown Huskies lead 46-26. In the second quarter of play. And Yusuf. Armstrong with Masters on him. Now switches to Caliango. Armstrong working inside, gets hit hard.
Oh.
And again, the assault coming defensively from the Huskies on Kevon Armstrong. Well, he's their top scorer so far this season, Luis, but George Brown's not going to give any buckets to him easily.
Yeah, that's right. And you can see how Armstrong is exhausted right now. He's able to score there the first throw, but he's exhausted. And there's where the depth of the squad comes to notice, you know. While George Brown has a much faster rotation overall, Centennial has to keep playing with players that are really not 100% fit at the moment because of all the fatigue they're going through.
And Armstrong on the second. It's good. Lead now is 18 with 2:37 to go in the second quarter. And just a missed substitution there by the table, so I'll go checks back into the game for the Colts, and Makai Richards is going to head to the bench. And now play can resume as develop. Oh.
Substitution was not completed.
So now the substitution is complete, and Tavel Peters running the offense here for George Brown. Into the corner, Gale, open look, catches nothing but air. And it just grazed the top of the shot clock there on its way up, so out of bounds. George Brown with strong defensive structure here. And a blocking foul called on to Shane Gale. So now that's going to mean free throws for the Colts as they're in the bonus.
Colts gaining a bit of momentum then probably. I mean, the difference is still quite large, not only on numbers but also on the level displayed by the players. But even though that's the reality, Centennial's been able to reduce the difference a bit now.
And Richards good on the first. Misses the second. And the rebound goes to Masters. Masters sprinting up the court, but just loses a handle and ball goes out of bounds. Another turnover for the Huskies. As Rivera and Richards check back into the game for George Brown. Jacob Masters, the first year out of Central Technical here in Toronto, leading the team in scoring so far, having a great rookie campaign. As Caliango can't keep it in bounds. Caliango, second year from Weston Collegiate out of Uganda in Central Africa. As another foul called against the Huskies here. And this time looks like it's Yusuf who's down. And he's still down, looks like he got hit in the head. Taking a second to breathe here. The statistical leader so far in this game for the Colts, Kevon Armstrong with 14 points so far. And Herbert has 7 points and 3 rebounds. For the Huskies, Tavel Peters leading the way with 14 points on 4 threes. As well as to Shane Gale, 9 points and 3 assists plus a rebound. And Darnell Richards chipping in 8 and 4 as well. So now Yusuf heading to the line. And all the free throws definitely slows down the pace of the game after you see how fast and back and forth it's going. And then these free throws and stoppages in play just allow the players to breathe. And if anything, this is a favor for Centennial. As you mentioned, Luis, that the fatigue is not allowing them to be up to 100%. And they're going to need all the help they can get as Yusuf misses both free throws, gets his own rebound, but can't get the layup to go. And he's going to be called for a foul now here too, with just over 2 minutes left in the half. So Malik Allen coming in, first year out of Sir Winston Churchill in Hamilton. Tavel Peters, this is the first. And it was a technical free throw there. Unsure of the cause for the call from the official. The play resumes here as Rivera takes it over the timeline for George Brown. Playing with a slower pace of play. Gale looking for an opening. Sees Peters in the corner. Air ball. Caliango swatted against the board. Trying to fight back. Richards wasn't able to secure it behind the back. And it's no good. Colts maintain possession. Armstrong kicks back. Allen open. And the ball's still in play. Tipped away. Allen passes over to Armstrong. His three-point attempt. No good. Rebound goes to the Huskies. And to Shane Gale pushing the pace here for George Brown. Now back up top to reset. Trying to run isolation here. Looking for an open man in the corner. Instead, he's robbed, and Kevon Armstrong breaks out in numbers for the Colts. Swinging around, but Caliango takes it away. Now the Huskies have numbers. Peters to the hole, but instead back to Gale and up and good. Putting the lead back to 19. As Malik Allen taking it up slowly but surely here for the Colts, working on Gale. Makai Richards now from the wing. Other Richards on him. And an offensive foul called against Makai Richards. And Moses Orange checks back in, so back and forth, but Colts unable to take advantage of the turnovers. And Jason Dawkins calls for time. Huskies lead 48-29. You're watching OCAA men's basketball on OCAA Live. Back in 30. And we're back here at the AWC. Slow roll from Shane Gale up to Tavel Peters. Long three-pointer and catches air. So that's going to go out of bounds. And the Colts are going to get the ball back with just about 1 shot clock left. 4-second difference, game clock, shot clock. Definitely wanted to create some offense, but a turnover. And Peters to the hole and good. Tavel Peters. Long pass here to Quentin Herbert. On the receiving end of the Hail Mary. Baseline jumper, no good. Tapped away off the leg of Makai Richards, so 5 seconds left in the half. So George Brown trying to get one more look before the half. Peters, quick trigger three, no good. And the Huskies lead big at the half, 50-29 here at the AWC over the Centennial Colts. And after a relatively close first quarter, the Huskies are starting to pull away. Tune in for second half action coming up in 15. You're watching OCAA men's basketball on OCAA Live. Welcome back to the AWC here at Centennial College campus as the Colts find themselves down 21 at the start of the third here. Huskies on top 50-29. And an absolutely clinical performance on offense from George Brown in the first half on 46% shooting compared to the Colts 31. As well adding 9 of 23 from downtown, making a big difference down the stretch. As the layup is no good from Lindocroft, but he's going to head to the line for a pair as he's hacked by Makai Richards. And Luis, the big tail of that first half, shooting percentage as I just mentioned. 45% from the field. Centennial only 35 attempts, 31%. Less attempts, less buckets, hard to win games.
It's certainly been a difficult game for the Colts, really. Honestly, I think I wasn't the only one who was expecting a bit more from them after their game and their first victory of the season against against Durham earlier this week. But certainly this has not been their game. The players seem a bit tired. There's not enough communication. Couple of, I don't know. It's not that they're not trying. They're sure trying their best. But some things are just not going as planned for sure.
And the depth of the bench of the Huskies is making a big difference in this game. Compared to the Colts, 10-man roster, very thin. And blocked on the way up is Orange looking to get it back. Hannon fights for it now. Richards scoops it back up. 3 to shoot, 2. And a foul called against, an out of bounds against the Colts. So another turnover.
A lot of frustration there from Armstrong, and I know it's hard. It's hard being so having this disadvantage on the score, but he needs to remain focused. Sometimes those moments where he shows his frustration just take him out of the game, and that's not what Centennial needs at this moment, especially from one of his most valuable players.
And Steve steps on the line out of bounds, so another turnover goes back in favor of the Colts. Centennial definitely need to take advantage of any turnovers that the Huskies commit in the second half if they want to make this more of a game. Still stuck, 23, Herbert with Ocampo on him. Pulls it instead, and the three is no good, but the rebound goes to Hannon. Orange lost the handle, wasn't tipped, so the Huskies get the ball back. As Robert Ocampo, fourth-year man out of Brébeuf College here in Toronto, running the offense for George Brown. Long three-pointer, in and out, and Herbert grabs the rebound, pushing it, transition, is Moses Orange, layup no good. Hannon trying to scoop the offensive rebound, and a nice block there, and now a foul called on Orange. So Lindocroft with a strong rebound. The big man presence is felt as the 6'9" forward out of Ajax has been making an impact in this game on the glass. Pass strings through a few people and is tipped out of bounds. And Deshane Gale set to inbound for George Brown. Second chance effort, no good. Third almost comes, but Herbert is able to secure the ball instead, pushing the pace now for the Colts. Looking for help, has Armstrong up top. With Kalingo on him, Armstrong driving. Ocampo steps into a long three, off back rim and pushed up. Armstrong all alone and misses the dunk. Had a great opportunity to crush it. But instead, in moments like that, you definitely got to go with the safer option, Luis, especially down 23. A dunk is not going to swing enough momentum to start a huge run.
Yeah, that's for sure. Centennial still has to do a lot to recover from that initial first half, for sure.
Swing pass cross court, now inside Lindo Croft, and he's called for an offensive foul. Armstrong establishes himself and draws the charge, so a nice heads-up play there by the man out of Holy Cross. Richards hands off to Herbert. Looking for the screen from Hannon. Instead, gives back to him. Another handoff. 6 to shoot. Richards driving inside. Kicks. Herbert. 2. Won't go. Rebound goes out of bounds. Wrestled for by teams, both players. And now Tavel Peters checks back in for George Brown. Armstrong to inbound for the Colts. As Peters has to check. Looks like Peters is not checking into the game. Hand off to Orange. 2 defenders come near. Driving to the lane. Tipped out by Hannon. And the Huskies break out in transition. They got numbers. 3-on-1. And the handoff to Lindo Croft is not handled well, as the Huskies are called for traveling, and now Peters checks into the game.
That was really a fast transition there from the George Brown Huskies. Centennial not only not performing well, but even though they're showing some sort of improvement right now, but they are also lacking that bit of luck you need sometimes in games like this to start a comeback. I think that in previous matches, those kind of balls would go into the net, but right now they're just bouncing off.
Timeout on the floor by the Colts. Back in 30. You're watching OCAA men's basketball on OCAA Live. And we're back out of the timeout. Only one basket so far, and we're near the halfway point of the third quarter, Luis. So definitely still a fast pace. Maybe not as clean offensively as we saw in the first 2 quarters.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's become less friction during this third quarter, especially because
I think there's a lot of confidence from George Brown on how the game is developing, and Centennial hasn't shown any. Well, there seems to be a foul there. No, but Centennial hasn't shown really that much to make them think that they're able to come back from this result. You know.
Absolutely, and the ball bobbled around there a bunch, but Shane Gale comes away with the rebound that eventually puts the layup in. And Gale again, breaking in transition, taking on Armstrong himself. Rebound goes to Caliango, and Caliango puts it in. Armstrong going himself. Can't get the layup to go. Rebound goes to Richards. Ocampo throws a long pass and almost picked off. Looks like we're playing a mini game of touch football here inside with these long passes. You can see the Huskies running flies, goes, and every deep route you can conceive with how much they love pushing the pace here. To Shane Gale, dials up another three, won't go. And the long rebound off the side rim goes out of bounds.
You can see how George Brown is basically dominating the game, starting from the fact that they're getting almost all the rebounds. Centennial's not been able to get that second ball after it bounces back from the hoop. And every time they try to get on the offense, once the ball doesn't get in, it's George Brown quickly doing a transition from defense to attack. I think they started winning the game there, and they're just keeping following that formula.
And Moses Orange called for the offensive foul. Centennial's shooting percentage has dropped severely, now only at 24% in the game so far, with the Huskies still floating above 40%. And with almost a similar number of attempts now, making half the field goals that George Brown has made, he's not made this comeback easy for Centennial at all. Ocampo swings back, Rivera wide open. That's three is good. And now the lead is 30 for the Huskies. Colts still looking for their first point of the second half. 5 minutes in and change. Orange driving, shot no. And now a foul, and the Colts are gonna get a chance to break the drought now at the free throw line. Almost 5 minutes without a basket, Luis. That's definitely not a good look for Centennial in terms of offensive production, regardless of what the score is.
Yeah, I think that they've been able to get closer to scoring that basket during the third quarter, but they haven't been able, and that's something that differs from the previous half, where they did score, but they didn't generate as much. They didn't get as much closer to the rivals' hoop. A bit of contradiction there, but it is what it is at this point, and Centennial's just unable to score finally.
And the Colts score the first point of the second half, just over the halfway mark in the third quarter. Still down 29 as Yusuf checks into the game for Centennial now. Rivera over the timeline for the Huskies. With a screen now, goes the other way, spinning into the lane. Nice move, Patrick Rivera. Look at that. Put in the Colts defense through a spin cycle. Great shot by the man out of Mississauga. And on the other end, the Colts missed the layup again. Darnell Richards fighting for it, and he's fouled. So Kevon Armstrong called for the foul as Caliango checks back in. Ocampo pump fakes on the three, driving up and tipped in by Caliango. So the Huskies crashing the boards and dominating the offensive glass in terms of second chance points and offensive rebounds. Herbert gets a swing pass in the corner, working on Peters. Double comes. Baseline jumper, no good. Peters with a rebound. and looks to push the pace ahead. And now another swing pass. Nice ball movement by the Huskies. 3-ball, good again. Patrick Rivera making it rain. 2 threes in a row. And this lead is blown open to 36 in favor of George Brown.
That's what I meant earlier when I said that George Brown's getting all the rebounds. Defensively and offensively, they are getting every single ball, while Centennial isn't able to get the ball into the hoop.
And Herbert finally buries in a jumper. First field goal of the half for the Colts. And with just past 7 minutes gone in the third quarter, this has to be the most that the Colts have struggled offensively in a quarter all season. An offensive foul called against Tavel Peters as Darnell Richards and Tashane Gale come back into the game for George Brown. And so Mustafa Yusuf taking control of the Colts offense here. Aogo looks back to his own teammate. Pass inside Aogo. Almost lost a handle, tipped up, and now Tashane Gale's running the other way for the Huskies. 1-on-3, taking them all. And the foul to Shane Gale. Putting on a clinic. Giving a little bit of an Isaiah Thomas flex there at the end. Leading the way for the Huskies.
And just want to point out right now, the intensity of how the benches are living this game. Even though there's a huge difference in points, George Brown still celebrates every point they get, and they do it with so much cheer. You can see every time a player goes in, how their teammates clap for them, how they're constantly cheering, constantly asking for defense to keep the focus. And meanwhile, Centennial, you can see a lot of sadness, frustration. They do not speak, not making any sound at all. It's a complete contrast right now.
So Enes Surmik checks into the game, man from Adana, Turkey. And you can see and hear the cheers and the excitement from the Huskies bench as the first-year man gets his shot to come into the game with a wide open lead over the Colts. It's 37. That's the difference so far. Rivera, another three, no good. Armstrong with the rebound. Ball tipped up by Peters, can't be saved by Gale.
It's amazing that the way Gale leaves the game, he was finishing the attack over there, and he is the one who makes the ball go out of bounds on defense. So fast and so agile. Incredible performance from number 3 of George Brown.
An open three is no good by the Colts. And pass is stolen away by Peters. 1-on-1 with Richards to the hole, and it's good. Lead is 39. And the Colts getting absolutely worked on defense and offense here as Armstrong moves quickly past Surmik for the bucket. Trying to stop the bleeding. Anything is going to help the Colts here, but it's going to have to come in droves if this is going to be a game once again. Only 5 points so far this quarter. Not good enough for Trevor Challenger's side. As the three is off the mark, but Bongwa able to secure the rebound. And Herbert now in even numbers, 2-on-2. Armstrong pulls into a long three, and it's good. Kevon Armstrong dialing it up from Brampton. And the Colts trying to chip away slowly as the pass sails past Darnell Richards out of bounds. So Lindo Croft comes back into the game, and so does Steeth. 47 seconds to go in the third quarter. Colts down 71-37. Pass inside for Bongwa. And it was tipped away by Lindo Croft. A bit of a confused look on his face, maybe thinking that he didn't touch it, but that's the call as it stands on the court. And more substitutions into the game for the Huskies. as Masters comes back in.
You can see there the depth of their squad. They're making rotations so fast and so constantly. While Centennial doesn't have that, unfortunately.
And pass inside stripped away, and who is it? It's to Shane Gale, leading the pace with a nice behind-the-back pass, trying to add a little flair to that kick out for Masters, but you know, it's kind of funny, Luis. Masters has been leading the Huskies in scoring with 19 points per game, but in this game he hasn't done as much, considering the fact that he hasn't really been needed as much. So it just speaks to the depth that this George Brown team has, with 2 players in double digits and a handful close to as well.
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about the entire game right now. Unfortunately for Centennial, the circumstances that we all know with the close down, the shutdowns, the league getting postponed, all of that. Some of the players that were supposed to be part of the team decided to take other ways, other opportunities, and that left the squad very limited, to say the least.
Colts forced the turnover with 12 ticks left in the third. And almost looked like a dance there for a second. As Enoch Kabongo, first-year man out of Pickering from Dunbarton High School, comes into the game. And you can hear the excitement on the broadcast from the bench as they want to see those young guys come in with the lead and the game in hand. As there's 4 ticks left to go, and Armstrong up top, long 3, doesn't go, and that's the end of the third quarter. Huskies lead big, 71-37 at the end of 3 over the Centennial Colts. Back in a minute to the AWC. You're watching OCAA Men's Basketball on OCAA Live. And welcome back to the Athletic and Wellness Center here at Centennial College. Big blowout on our hands in this one. Colts down 34. And the Huskies, as we've talked about earlier, Luis, have dominated all game on the glass, on offense and defense. Not many bright points to pull away from the Colts. And the big difference, shooting percentage. When you almost double your opponent's shooting percentage on a similar number of attempts, it's very hard to stay in games.
Yeah, you know, at this point, the numbers just reaffirm what we've seen. The superiority of George Brown throughout the game has been very clear. And now I think the best thing for Centennial is to try to score as many baskets as possible, just for, you know, an emotional aspect and a psychological aspect. I think that will be the best for the team right now.
And 2 second chance attempts were no good, and the Huskies finally able to secure the offensive board. And a block called on Mustafa Yusuf near the middle of the court. So tough sledding for the Colts. 9 minutes left to go. Gale driving, pass to Lindo Croft. Open layup, no good. Gets the second chance, point to go, and the foul. As Bongwa and Mustafa Yusuf weren't able to ward off the 6'9" big man, and he heads to the line for one more. And free throw is good. So the lead now 37 in favor of the Huskies. Driving. Kicks out. Herbert in the corner. That three is good. And pardon me, that's a 2. And so still Colts trying to find some way to make it respectable again. Open look, short. And up pass, Armstrong for 3. Shot no, rebound goes to Shane Gale. Dribbling through a few defenders. 1-on-2, nice scoop pass. And inside.
His pace is amazing, really.
Open layup is no good. And as you said, Luis's pace is fantastic. He keeps driving the other way, but this time loses a handle and gets called for travel.
Yeah, but I think it was more of like he didn't know what to do once he turned over and he saw his own teammate there. His movements are so fast that even sometimes their own teammates are surprised by them.
Richards inside to Bongwa, loses a handle, and the other Richards helps push the pace up for the Huskies. And a throwdown from Darnell Richards. So the dunk will count, but maybe a delay of game for touching the ball after it goes through the hoop. And the lead now 39 for George Brown. Armstrong, long three-pointer. And doesn't catch any of the rim. As the Huskies continue to pour it on here late in the game. Oliver, handoff, quick trigger 3. No good. And Bongwa secures the rebound for Centennial. Long pass up the court, picked off and pushed back right away to Darnell Richards. Oliver to the hole. Doesn't get high enough on the layup, and the Colts break out in transition, 2-on-1. And quickly stolen away there, sticky hands from Tavel Peters. He's taking it on his own, up to Shane Gale with a great up and under layup. Can't get it to go. Richards with the initial offensive rebound. Ball flailing around, dives on it. And finally, the Huskies get an open look for 3. Air ball, Oliver back up, and the foul.
And Gale, they're just exhausted. What a great performance from number 3.
And Gale has played his heart out so far in this game.
And look how he's received. Claps and everyone standing on the bench.
16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. And the numbers don't tell the whole story in this one.
He's really shown another level of basketball tonight.
He has, Luis, played absolutely phenomenal. Same with Tavel Peters. That backcourt 1-2 punch is absolutely amazing for the Huskies and one of the strong suits of their team. Huskies up 39. Back in a minute. Timeout on the floor. And back out of the timeout. 3-point play is no good. Violation, no rim. And so Steeth checks back in for George Brown as the lead is 41, 80-39 with 6:25 and counting left in this one. Colts looking for answers, haven't found any so far in the second half. Behind the back, up for the layup. And Armstrong hacked on the arm, and he'll head to the line for a pair.
Tache and Gale back in court.
And Armstrong knocks down both. Cut the lead back to 39. Peters comes off the screen, driving, and swatted away by Hannon. Peters to inbound for George Brown. Finds Steeth in the corner, driving, and ball pops loose. Herbert one-on-one with Gale. Nice take. Quinton Herbert with a great move. And the climb back up the mountain is going to take a lot of steps, but there's still quite a bit of time for the Colts to pull back a little bit even more into this one. Peters, long range, in and out. Nice rebound by Caliango. Second effort won't go. Third, blocked by Hannon, but referees whistle for a foul, and a nice effort there by Declan Hannon. But Russell Caliango is going to head to the line for a pair of free throws here. And Caliango buries both. So the lead is 38. So Campo comes back into the game for the Huskies. On the perimeter, long three. Tips up and over. Hannon blocked in his way up, but gets the foul call. So Declan Hannon heads to the line. Hasn't taken any shots so far in this game. First chance of points of the night for Declan Hannon. And first free throw is good. Misses the second, and Steeth there on the defensive rebound. Ocampo on the wing. Gale working inside on a few defenders, kicks. Ooh. And just lost the handle. Caliango not able to connect on the receiving end there. And we're halfway through the fourth quarter. Colts still stuck by 38. And another ball goes through the legs of a player, and this time it's Kevon Armstrong.
That's what we've been talking about. Centennial, a lot of miscommunication between the players, and that's something that at this point in the season, I know we've only been like probably four games right now, but those are things that have had to be corrected since game one. And it sure appeared like that on Wednesday night against the Durham Lords, but no, those same issues are getting constantly repeated in this game.
And an illegal screen called there on Caliango, and he'll check out for Lindo Croft. So Quinton Herbert now for the Colts. Richards working on two defenders and loses a handle out of bounds, so the Huskies get the ball back off the turnover. And to Shane Gale to slowly take the ball up here for George Brown, setting the pace for the offense here with 4 minutes and change left in the fourth quarter. Ocampo, long three-pointer, off the mark. Moses Orange with a rebound, breaking it with in even numbers. And again, another sloppy pass, rebounds off the shin of Kevon Armstrong. As you mentioned before, Luis, the turnovers, the miscommunication, it adds up over time. These teams aren't, the difference between the strength in these teams is maybe not reflected in the score, but the play of the Colts has definitely made the score a lot bigger than what we thought it would be.
Yeah, that's right. And you can see a lot of the frustration that every player in the Centennial Colts must be feeling right now can be reflected on the face of Armstrong right now, number 5. Constantly, after every play ends, can be seen complaining not only to his teammates but to himself, really, because he feels that he should be doing better.
Open three is good to Shane Gale, now at 19 points, and Herbert breaking out quickly and gets the layup to go. And a timeout on the floor called by Jason Dawkins, 3:19 left. Huskies up big, 83-48. You're watching OCAA men's basketball on OCAA Live, back in 30. back out of the timeout here. Ball bouncing around. And the Huskies keep possession here with 3 minutes left. Up. And it's no good. A long pass goes to Herbert, breaking out in numbers. One-on-one. Layup doesn't go. Bongwa, he's able to scoop the offensive rebound and put it back in. And now the Colts only down 33. Huskies still in control of this game offensively and defensively. It's been all George Brown the second half.
The fact that you had to say only down by 33 at this point explains how the game has developed.
And pass into the corner for Herbert. Back up to Kevon Armstrong. Tipped up.
Oh.
And Oliver is all alone. Here he is. And can't get the dunk to go, but puts in the reverse layup. I think a little bit of an ambitious attempt there.
Yeah, they're just getting cheeky there.
But Armstrong can't get the layup to go. It's just been that kind of night for Centennial. As we reach the 2-minute mark again. Here's another attempt, but layup is good. And lead now grows. Back again. Herbert trying to do it all himself. Another layup in and out, and swing drill goes to Kevon Armstrong. Desperate for any points at this point. But it looks like it's not coming. In the corner, Oliver wide open, catches air. And Sermika stripped, and another Hail Mary pass goes up. Richards, he throws it down. So Makai Richards gets the consolation dunk. But it's not going to be enough, as the Colts still down huge with 1:20 left. And the last timeout here called on the floor by head coach Trevor Challenger. Back in a minute to see the end of Colts Huskies here on OCAA Live. You're watching men's basketball. And we're back out of the timeout. Not much time to play here, just over a minute left. And the Colts have been worked all game, up and down the floor, offensively, defensively. It's been the weakest outing that they've had so far this year, having two close games and then a win. And this one's definitely been a struggle, Luis.
Yeah, I'm focusing right now on Armstrong in the bench there. I don't know if he's crying at the moment, but you can see he's clearly visually frustrated. He knows his performance and the performance of the team as a whole has not been what everyone was expecting.
And the biggest story of this second half and this game as a whole so far, Luis, has been points off turnovers. Colts 7. Huskies 26. And the Huskies now call a timeout of their own. And that's the last one that they got for the evening. Back in 30. Timeout on the floor. Huskies lead 87-52. back out of the timeout. Huskies maybe just wanting to clarify some things. The Colts just not their night, as the Huskies have dominated in all phases of the game. And with the ball on the baseline in the Colts half, looking for more points. Sermeek, open three. Shot no. Rebound goes to Richards. And now controlled by Ukwesa. And bounces off of the head of Aogo. Pump fake driving inside. Layup no good, and rebound goes to Masters as he takes it back up top to reset things for the Huskies. 6 to shoot. Working on Allen. Thought about a three inside. Lindo Croft loses a handle, and it's going to go Centennial's way. 39 and a half ticks left in this one. Colts looking to finish strong after struggling in this second half especially. It's Herbert. Fakes a handoff to Allen. Mid-range jumper. Bounces around and falls through. And so foul is called on Quentin Herbert. So the Huskies are in the bonus, heading to the line now for free throws to more than ice this game. If anything, they've built an entire cake out of icing in this second half with how big this lead has grown. As Masters misses the first. Hits the second. 1 second difference, game clock, shot clock. Makai Richards in control for the Colts. Driving inside, kicks out. Allen, foot on the line, so it's going to be a long two. Looking to track down his own rebound. And a collision there with Lindo Croft, and it looks like there's a whistle. Not sure if there's a foul call there, or if it's just simply out of bounds. So the Colts are going to get possession here with 12 seconds left. And Malik Allen to inbound for Centennial. Throws up top for Herbert. 10 to shoot. Pulls a three. It's good. Quentin Herbert with a nice ending here to the Colts for this offensive drought. And the Huskies run it out to take this one by 31. George Brown wins big over Centennial, 88-57 here at the Athletic and Wellness Center at Centennial College campus. And Luis, maybe a bit close in the first quarter, and after that it was all George Brown the rest of the way, almost doubling up their field goal percentage. 42% from the field, 31% from three, 26 points off turnovers compared to Centennial's 9, out-rebounding them by 12. The numbers tell the story, but not even in its entirety. That's how much of a dominant performance this was by George Brown.
Yeah, that's right. George Brown absolutely dominated the game. And you can see there all of Centennial players just are leaving now. Hopefully this will be the lowest point of the season, and it serves as a rebuilding start, like it's to start a rebuilding right now for the team. I don't mean in the fact of adding new players, but just trying to get the idea that they cannot get lower than this, and from that thought start improving constantly as they were doing before this very, very tough loss.
Huskies go to 2-2. Colts fall to 1-3. A tough game overall, and George Brown dominating all over. For Luis Ramirez, I'm Matias Bueno saying so long from the Athletic and Wellness Center, and good night. Thank you for joining us and watching OCAA men's basketball on OCAA Live.